stands for and what we need to stand for. That when we have a disagreement and a dispute, that we can look for the question of how can we make things better. And Mr. Kenzie Smith actually expressed interest in serving and stepping up and being part of the leadership in Oakland with the group that sets the rules and regulations for our parks and can be part of the solution. And so I want to make clear that I'm here today not to put down anyone, but to talk about how we make positive solutions going forward. And I so appreciate that attitude. And that is why this week I have recommended Kenzie Smith for the Oakland Parks and Rec Advisory Commission, which is an important opportunity for public service and which is a board that can help set the tone, set the rules, and define ideas going forward, not only around barbecues, but around how we care for our parks, how we work together. And I so appreciate him stepping up and taking this opportunity to do something positive. So thank you so much. I appreciate you and look forward to continuing to work together.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone for coming out today. The news. I have written a statement that I like to read. It says, "Good afternoon. My name is Kenzie Smith. I am a lifelong Oakland resident. As many of you know, on Sunday, April 29th, I was barbecuing and enjoying a day out at Lake Merritt with my friends and family, when we were approached by a white woman known on the internet and social media memes as Barbecue Becky, who called the police on us for simply barbecuing at the lake, as we have done week after week for decades. I'm not going to go into details right now, but the bottom line is that we were treated like we were criminals. We had the cops called on us for simply trying to enjoy a day out at Lake Merritt with our family, and from our perspective, the incident was clearly racially motivated. For me, this is a sign of the times. Oakland is going through some major transitions, and more frequently, those of us who grew up here and who have lived here for decades are made to feel uncomfortable and unwelcome in our own hometown. I am here today to make the announcement that I have put my name forward for the City of Oakland Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission and have since been recommended for the position by Councilperson Rebecca Kaplan, who is Oakland City Council member at large. Living through the incident on April 29th was traumatic for me as well as my family, and for the past few weeks have been challenging for us. I am here today because I believe that we can use this horrible incident as an opportunity to make some real changes that will benefit all of us, and that we will make Oakland the welcoming and diverse city that I have known all my life. As a Park and Recreation Advisory Commission member, I will work to ensure that Oakland parks are places that are welcoming to all members of our community. Our parks and public spaces should be places for enjoyment and relaxation. The Parks and Rec Department must encourage community building and uphold diversity. Families of all backgrounds should feel safe and welcome in Oakland's parks. Oakland should not be the city where people are made to feel out of place, and especially for those of us who grew up here. I hope that we can use this teachable moment. I would like to see efforts to educate newer residents about the history, the culture, and legacy of Oakland, so that we can build bridges and create a city where everyone belongs. Thank you.
Lisa, can you switch sides so when you talk a little bit more to the...
So Kenzie, there have been some pretty funny memes out of this whole incident, and obviously the over 2 million people have viewed the video, but what do you think has been the biggest lesson for you? What was most shocking for you what the past 3 weeks has been like?
I've actually seen the community come behind me and rally behind me and actually encourage me to step forth and apply for this position, as well as to see like different diversities, walks of life, actually support like what I know to be Oakland. So that's what the biggest lesson of all this is.
So I know on Sunday there was a big barbecuing event. You were here for
Yes.
that, but there were photos, and I saw them for myself, of people dumping coal in areas where they're not supposed to be dumped. What do you want to say to folks? Because I think the overall issue here was the coal situation, and that coal,
we did have storage bins, metal storage bins out here, and we did encourage them to put the coal into the storage bins. And I stayed late actually cleaning up the park.
But what do you tell folks who come out here and barbecue and, you know, that they need to clean up for themselves, or?
I do encourage the lake to be cleaned up because it's a beautiful place. It is a public space, and it is a place of relaxation. And I do encourage cleaning up, yes.
Councilmember Kaplan mentioned that
working toward we will be announcing a nonprofit organization that will employ youth here in Oakland, cleaning up parks throughout the city of Oakland, California.
Barbecue Becky has not come out and said anything in response to all of this. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
No comment.
I have a few questions.
Yes.
You want to say something?
I just want to make clear in terms of this recommendation that this is not about the question you just asked is what about this person who's been called Barbecue Becky? I want to say at this point this is not about her, and people harassing her at this point is not the solution. I'm standing together with Kenzie Smith today to talk about solutions, not to continue to just say that there was a problem or to look down on someone. This is about how we work together, how we build a positive future, and the Parks and Rec Advisory Commission has the authority to recommend rules and regulations for our parks, to recommend things like more bins for people to put things in so that it's clean and safe, to work on programs to keep the parks clean. And so we have an opportunity to make, as they say, when you're given lemons, to make lemonade, and so to make positive outcomes, to make sure we're working together with everyone in the community. And that's part of why I think it would be such a good opportunity to have his views and leadership on the Parks and Rec Advisory Commission.
My question is, do you have any thoughts about signs and bins and whether, rules about charcoals? Do you have thoughts about making changes?
At this point, no, I do not.
And who would have thought that, like, a couple Sundays ago you were just grilling, and today you're in a suit, becoming a public servant for the city of Oakland? Do you have any, like, grand thoughts on pro-life?
It's surreal. It's surreal, and I'm thankful for the people that behind me and encourage me to do so.
Any idea on what else you'd like to bring up? Any issues you'd like to bring up if you do become part of this advisory commission?
At this point, no, I do not.
So what's the next step? Does he have to sign any paperwork, or?
So we submitted the letter of recommendation this week. It's now gone to the administration for them to process. Ultimately, it will come to a vote of council, and when that's scheduled, that will take place at a public meeting. And then that would be the confirmation step that would then authorize him to serve on that commission. It's an 11-member commission, and there's currently 1 seat open.
What made you think of this?
Actually, we talked about it on Sunday at the barbecue. So I did come out Sunday to join in the barbecue demonstration that took place at the lake to really support making clear that we are a community that is welcoming to everyone and that we can come together in a positive way. And while I was there, we bumped into each other, we had a conversation, and he expressed that he would be interested in public service in this particular way, that we have an opportunity to work together and to have this public service on the Parks and Rec Advisory Commission to help be a part of the solution. And so he mentioned that he would be interested in that, and I said yes, I would support that.
Well, question, when will we hear more about this nonprofit and youth, and when is that something that we can report?
We will be announcing that next weekend.
Last question, are you going to be barbecuing this holiday weekend?
I'm always going to barbecue. Part of me is in my DNA.
And where?
Lake Merritt.
Is the public invited?
Public is always invited. Like I said, the lake is always a public and community shared space. Like last Sunday, we came out here. It was no races turned down. Everyone was out here. It was unity. I heard people comment on the internet say that it reminded them of original festival at the lake, which hasn't taken place since the year of 1997. So therefore, like I said, we had peace, we had love, and it was all about community and bringing back the awareness of having fun and just being a kid again.
So what's the go-to Kenzie recipe or favorite?
Try to.
Sunday or Monday or both?
Sunday. We could do it Monday too. I mean, we could do it all weekend if you like. If you want to come out and bring your family and your friends, definitely invited.
All right, Kenzie, we'll do it. I'm always honored. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.